Ladies and gentlemen, gamers of all ages, welcome back for another live from Museum Pictura.
Absolutely, live chat number 2.
Hi, my name is Georgina, this is Jamie.
Yep.
No, wait, it's been a long week.
Something like that.
We hope you're all well. We're back again for our weekly live. You guys probably know the drill by now, and if you don't, we're basically here to shoot the shit, basically. About the campaign, I almost drew myself back from that phrase, but never mind, we're going for it. About the campaign, and we are basically just going to natter on about stuff that's happened over the last week, whether that is things like expansions, frequently asked questions, or how we're doing, what we ate today, how the cat is, that kind of stuff. And in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, whatever it is, whether it's gameplay, material, how our cat is, feel free to ask them.
Yep.
There we go.
That's the thing that you can do.
Exactly.
So, here we go. So this week, we funded.
We funded.
Hey.
Huzzah. Things are going rather well.
Yes.
We are trundling along quite nicely despite the huge amount of competition.
Yes.
On Kickstarter at the moment.
Kickstarter is busy this month.
Busier than we've ever seen it, I think. Mostly, what was the number? 39 new projects last week?
Yes.
I think it was.
So, yeah.
That's a lot of projects. I think, well, as we've said many times before, this is probably due to the rush of everybody wanting to get their projects out of the way before Frosthaven hits. Yeah. And now the onk, I don't know, that game. So there's two big games coming up soon. Yeah. And obviously nobody wants to be in the way of those. So yeah, I think everybody's going now, and it's created quite the bottleneck of which we are part of.
Yes, we are. So in spite of that, we have funded, which we're super happy about. Obviously, we're a small company, so our financing expectations are
much lower than some.
Yes, yeah. We're not
a pure Kickstarter company anyway.
No,
we retail and everything. So for those of you thinking, they must be really upset about it not financing, trust me, we are fine.
Yes,
we're very happy.
We're fine.
Especially in this period.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you want to throw an extra couple $100,000 at us, that's fine. But,
feel free. I mean, nobody's going to complain. But anyway, all that aside, we are fine.
Yes.
Hi, Faye. Where is the dog? Well, you missed him by about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He came barreling in to saying goodbye. Now he's gone home.
Yeah.
So he won't be making an appearance tonight, sadly.
No. Which, to be honest, does drastically improve the smell in the room.
It does.
Yeah, Maestro is a gorgeous dog, but he's a very fragrant dog.
Yes.
And
fragrant is a really diplomatic way to put it.
It is. I was an estate agent in a previous life.
Yes, it clearly. This dog does not stink of a dead carcass. He's fragrant.
He's fragrant.
Anyway, Maestro's names aside.
So this week, Daily Unlocked. So Daily Unlocked so far, we've actually added several new modules to the game.
We have.
So we started talking last week about disfavor cards.
Yep.
So disfavor cards are favour cards.
They look like it.
They do, yeah. They play slightly differently in that the play sensation is much more aggressive than...
To be clear, they play exactly the same way.
Yeah.
They're drawn from the favour pile. You can play one per turn. You get one every time you reach an increment of 10 points, etc., etc. Well, you get a card from the pile. It may be a favour card. It may be a disfavour card. Yeah. One of the beauties about these modules is if you don't like some of the cards, you don't have to use all of the cards. If you want to play with just disfavour cards and really have a very aggressive game, you may absolutely do that. Yeah. That's perfectly fine, but you will not have any friends when you leave the table. You've been warned.
So the concept behind this was kind of like Black Market, where it was like Black Market was the mean expansion of Museum, the original. Museum first of its name. And it did bring a much more aggressive play style. You could directly attack each other. So we thought we'd bring a little bit of that flavour into one of the daily unlocks. So yeah, it is a module that gives you favour cards that let you attack each other. Basically, the powers are mean. You can make everybody
cheeky. Is how I describe them.
Yes.
Cheeky.
Yes, or they can provoke a certain amount of swearing when playing, especially when aimed at you.
Remove all sharp objects from the table.
Yes, absolutely. So there's a slight a bit of table flip spice in there with those.
But hey, Museum is quite a family friendly game. It's generally all about making your collection, and even though all the choices you can make during the game do have an impact on others, there's nothing like really aggressive. Yeah. Until now.
Yeah. So if you want it, you can do it.
Exactly. They are there for you.
Yes, absolutely. So the second module that we have now introduced is the event cards.
The event cards, which are just like The disfavor cards are completely optional.
Yeah.
They necessitate a little bit more setup.
Yeah.
As very much like Pandemic, you're going to split up the art market into, say, for example, 18 piles of 10 or 10 piles of 18 or whatever. You take a certain number of event cards. Once again, there are 30 of them. There will be 30 of them.
Yeah.
You can play with some of them, all of them, whatever you want. You mix those into the decks. Then you you shuffle those into each pile. You combine the piles. You separate your art market, and then you're ready to go.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Daniel's online. Hi, Daniel. He's one of our lovely demonstrators from Essen last year.
And basically, there are loads of different effects. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. Some of them are immediate. Some of them stick around until they are replaced.
Yes.
If you have played the original museum, this is nothing new. There was a similar event system, except that it rolled around every round. This time, it's completely random when it's going to change.
Yeah.
That's why we say, split everything up into decks and then mix your cards into those separate decks before combining them.
Yeah.
That at least allows you to know that things are going to change a little bit. And, even if you shuffle them horribly, you're at least going to get a certain consistency.
Yeah, well, some of them are good news and some of them are bad news. So obviously the bad ones, you're going to not want to be them to be hanging around for quite so long. But
or maybe you do.
Or
it's
maybe
bad
you do.
for somebody else.
If it's good for someone and you don't mind, then you can absolutely try and play it so that card sticks around for as long as possible. Or so yeah, that's a cool little.
Cool mechanic.
So we have a question from Fei Hong asking, to discover the game, is it better to remove all of the modules, so to play without them the first time?
I assume we are talking all of the Kickstarter stuff. In which case I would say absolutely. I think any game, unless there's absolutely something you want to play, in my experience anyway, whenever I've gotten a Kickstarter game with all the goodies and such, we always play once or twice without all the modules. Yeah. For us, one thing we really want from our games is a lot of replayability.
Yeah.
We want people to play the game maybe a dozen times, and each time by using different or combining pairs or triples of different modules, you get a different gameplay experience. Definitely. And that's really what the module system is about. You play one game of museum, bare minimum, as it were, and then you introduce the disfavor cards, then maybe the time after you're using event cards, and then the time after you're using both, they will be, I was going to say drastically isn't the right word, it will still be a game of Pictura, but there will be a lot of instances, a lot of moments, a lot of what I like to call, do you remember the time that events that will come away from those kind of things. And that's what we really look for with our modules. It's not ultra flashy like some people do it, but we try and bring real gameplay. I mean, when we say module, we're talking about something that is small enough to be easily integrated into the game without being classed as like a mini expansion. For example, on last week's live, we talked about modern art, and modern art is truly a mini expansion. Like, it does require like a whole extra little bit of setup on the game. It is an entirely new element that you have to consider. Whereas the event cards and the extra favours, they bring an extra flavour, they bring a little something extra, but it's not... They twist the original mechanic and give you a little bit of something extra.
Sure. So it's not that complicated.
No.
But
that's the other thing, yes. All the modules, they are literally explained in about 10 seconds. Disfavor cards, they're bad favour cards. Event cards, they'll pop up, we do the effects. It's super simple, but the effects they will be felt. There you go.
Yeah, definitely. So... yeah, certainly for the first game, unless you're like a super expert player and none of this holds any secrets for you, which is entirely possible, I would recommend that you play without it at least the first time you play, and then you can just throw it all in there,
You might find a module that you like. Maybe you play with a group and these guys, you're all friends, but you love to just piss each other off all the time in the game. So we'll just put the disfavor cards in to get started. It's nothing people won't have seen before in a board game, one-shot ability cards that allow you to attack another player. There's nothing we're not reinventing the wheel there.
No, there's nothing difficult to explain. The event cards maybe are a little bit more sort of,
Well, even with the event cards, at the end of the day, you flip your art market cards at the beginning of your turn. There's an event card. What does it say? That sucks. Oh, well. It's or maybe it's great. Maybe it's terrible. Who knows? It's one of the things we've, over our past experiences with our Kickstarter projects and the stretch goals and the stuff we've added to them, we've always found that we've always done better adding this kind of content than adding super flashy, we could do miniatures or whatever, who knows. But at the end of the day, that's kind of what we prefer. It's what we'd like to be known for more than anything.
Yeah, definitely.
So there you go. I hope that answers your question, Faye.
But we have actually added an extra module here at the start of the week, which is the assistant tiles here on the table. So the assistant tiles are actually the author's favourite, or one of the author's favourites. So Olivier, this is what he likes to play with the most out of all of the modules for Museum Pictura that he's come up with. I have not actually tested them yet because I have always been sort of out of the office at times when you guys were playtesting these, so I'm super excited to try these out. But the assistants, essentially, you are going to draw 3 of them secretly at the beginning of the game. They can have a variety of effects, but mostly they emulate the bonuses that you have for performing a temporary exhibition. So these ones are actually in French. But just to give you guys an idea, this one, for example, copies this power on the board, so it allows you to essentially, if there's something that you really like and you want to play it twice, you can have it again. Yeah, which is great.
If you get the tile.
Yeah, if you get it.
There are brand new powers in there as well. Yeah. So you can really mix up your temporary exhibition rewards to suit your strategy better.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So basically, let's say I was going to perform a temporary exhibition. I could choose the tile that I want out of all of the assistants that I drew at the beginning of the game, and I can use it to cover over one of the bonuses currently present on the board. And what that means is instead of gaining the bonus underneath, well, my token is going to come on top of that, and I'm going to get that power instead.
Yep.
So if I have... This is a power that gives you 3 extra points per patron card that you fulfilled at the end of the game. So that will stack with the other one. And that means I will now gain 6 points per patron. So it's a lot. It's potentially a lot of points.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's interesting stuff.
Going back to kind of like the question that Faye asked earlier about, should you be playing with modules and stuff, this is kind of like, I will call this the end game module.
Yeah.
Because when you have really explored Pictura and, like all Euro games, eventually you will find the strategy that suits you. The mechanics will start to tick.
Yeah.
You'll know that, you kind of want to aim for this result by turn 2 or turn 3.
Yeah.
You know that generally you're going to do your exposition turn 2 or 3 if you can.
Yeah.
You're going to aim for this reward and this reward because you like to play it like that. This kind of goes, okay, you think you know the game, so now let's reset it because obviously the rewards, temporary exhibitions and their rewards are one of the big new things. Yeah. The big differences rather with Pictura from the original museum, and their rewards have a massive effect on your gameplay. Yeah. So being able to not only have 3 potentially new rewards, but having them secret from the other players means that you can really spring the trap on people. Like maybe you're looking at somebody goes, he's definitely not going to be able to fill up his museum by the next turn, when the game ends or whatever, because he's already used his power, which allows him to do a temporary exhibition. So now he's going to have to choose between another temporary exhibition or filling up his gallery or some choice like that. Yeah. Well, maybe he has a tile now that allows him to do that twice, and that would suck if you calculated it like that, and all of a sudden he pulls it out. So it adds a little bit more, I don't want to say randomness, but unpredictability to your opponent's strategies, but also to yours. Yeah. And it really allows you to mix up your strategies with all these effects. Yeah. Like we said, 6 of them are literally just repeats of what is already on the board. Yeah. The other 12 are brand new. So there's plenty to be going for. Yeah. And once again, as I said with Faye, if you start with one kind of module, then move on to another, then start combining them, and then when you think you've got a grip on them, on the game itself, you start adding this, you will have a drastically different experience from the original Pictura. Yeah. As I said, that's always the goal of these models, to really mix up the game and bring as much replayability as possible.
I'm laughing because Barry's making fun of me in the comments. Cheers, Barry.
As he does.
I'm just sitting here and saying yes, because I agree with Jamie. And also because I haven't tried this module, so I don't know.
I have to take the lead on this one.
But no, it does sound cool. I would really like to try it. Also, I've just been out of luck, really. You and Olivier and Eric have tested this a lot more than I have. Not that's hard because I've tested
this. Has really been this was really the module where, we list all the ideas we have for expansions and Kickstarter goodies and that kind of thing. Then we start developing them. And this was one of the things we were like, oh, that could be pretty cool. Yeah. And then when you play, you're like, oof. Yeah. That's good. We're very happy with this.
Possibilities to a game that already has a lot. I mean, you have all the trend cards to deal with. You have a lot of stuff to handle, and so having the assistants is like an additional thing. For me, Pictura is really a game that's all about timing and optimizing. So I I had a little bit of a frustrating session of Pictura like a couple of weeks ago, and the author, one of the authors, Olivier Mellison, kind of said to me, well, you're not optimizing enough. Obviously, I was playing against him, which means
because he's optimized the next game after this one. So
absolutely.
obviously he knows optimization.
He just completely steamrolled me, and I was like, I don't understand what it is I'm doing wrong. And basically what he said was, well, your collections, you need to be optimizing by doing this and this and this. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't realize that it was as complicated as that.
Yeah.
Or potentially as complicated as that.
The game's as complicated as you want to make it.
Sure,
but,
yeah.
There's a lot of, as we've always said, the game itself is very simple. Yeah. It's a set collection game. Yeah. The actions are very fluid. Yeah. There's a hell of a lot of depth to what you can do, though. There is.
And, I've never managed to beat Olivier yet. I've never even come close to beating
Join the club.
Yet. Yeah, I do. And Jamie's a lot better than I am in terms
even the games where I'm like, that's it, I've got him! Yeah. And then we do the score, I'm like,
he's 50 points ahead of me, how? And usually I'm there at the back going, well, he's 50 points ahead of me and Olivier's 100 points ahead of me, and I don't quite understand how that happened, but I had fun. I had a good time.
I say that the last game we played this week whilst we were testing next week's expansion, you came very close.
Did I though?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You and me were both very close in the final score, and Olivier was obviously his obligatory 50 points ahead. Actually, even then it wasn't that much. He was only like 20, 25, 30 points ahead on a 300-point game.
Yeah.
So we were pretty good there.
I took everything that he explained to me and really tried to do it. And I'm not a hugely strategic gamer. I'm not good at planning ahead. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it. So I like to just sit there and play.
Opportunist.
I'm an opportunistic kind of player, which means for a game like Titan, a lot of the time I could have a bit of an advantage at times, because I could be sort of like, haha, you
all of your guys into the Hudson.
Yeah.
As we have with Godfather once.
You'll never let me forget
No,
that
I won't. Only because it was a magnificent play, because nobody saw it coming, and all of a sudden there were like 12 new bodies in the Hudson from one turn to another. And Georgina's just there like,
No, this is a game of The Godfather, not Titan. You can't throw people into the Hudson.
That would be fun.
There might be a Hudson on Titan, we don't know.
We can put one there. We have the technology.
I've now become very distracted. What were we talking about?
We just finished talking about the assistant tasks.
Yes, we had finished talking about the assistant tasks, and the fact that there's a lot of stuff that you can do, and the new expansion, which is coming out next week, which you were mentioning.
Which we're not going to tell you about. So if you're waiting around for we're not going to tell you much about, apart from the fact that we're very happy with it.
We are. It's so fun. It has all the things that I like. So I'm super happy about it. But we have already revealed one expansion this week, which is Vernissage. We won't explain the entire expansion to you in this video because we've done a full explanation video of it. But I really enjoy this one as well. It's a relatively simple expansion.
Yes, this one does not use a huge amount more of, shall we say, brain power.
No.
It's obviously you get more choice, but everything is very easy to access. Everything is very pertinent.
Yeah.
The only question you really need to ask yourself with this expansion is, the cards that I need to get my different characters, can I spare them?
Yes.
Do I want to? Do I have them in hand? Do I want to trade for them with the international museums? Is it worth the points I might gain or lose? Maybe you're going to gain some points and get the characters you want, in which case, perfect. But it doesn't add a huge amount of time onto the game. Maybe another 5 minutes per person, all in all. It's a free action you do once per turn.
Yeah.
Contrary to next week's expansion, which is slightly more of a brain buster, but at the end of the day, it is kind of the equivalent of the archaeologists. Thank you. From the first game. So it's a slightly more expert gamers kind of expansion. It's a lot of fun though. We had to redevelop it halfway through because, like, with game development, sometimes, despite the best intentions and the coolest ideas, you just cannot get a thing to work. So that idea we put to one side. Maybe we'll keep it for another game because the idea was still very cool.
The idea was super cool.
But we just couldn't get it to work in a way that was ergonomic and fun. And it kind of went, when we looked at it against the core gameplay, we'll explain this more in the future. But we redeveloped it now, so it's like hand in hand with the core gameplay, and it's so much fun, and we're very, very, very excited to show it off.
Yes, definitely. Well, Vernissage is, in my opinion, a great kind of like starter expansion for once you've had a few games of Pictura, you've gotten used to it, you want to add a little something extra. This is great. It's very much collectionception, in that you are collecting within your collection.
I heard you like collections. Have I put some collections? into your collection.
Yeah. So what we have on the table here is the board with all of our invitation cards and celebrity cards, guest cards. They're called guest cards. You are going to be discarding cards to get these during the game. They do give you different advantages. The cards that you can see on the table are in French, but they...
So now the challenge is thrown. All the English players are going to have to learn French. There we go.
Yeah.
We don't do English cards anymore. No, of course, this is all a prototype. The usual blah blah. You guys know the drill by now.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's great. It's a nice balance for me between the effects that you get in game from the cards just doing stuff. So you get the politician, for example, that's going to allow you to immediately draw a favour card when you get them. So all that kind of stuff. And then a lot of effects at the end of the game, which are going to have you really optimizing all the collections that you have, all the stuff that you do. So it's amping up again the actions that you're performing during the game. And then of course you have the collections that you can make of the guest cards, which are another element, another way to score points. So it's a little bit extra.
Exactly, a little bit more of the same. Thematically as well, we were really pleased to get this one into the game because you know when we knew we were going to do a game in the Roaring Twenties, you know. We did all the research, we watched films, whether it's the old things or much more modern like the Grand Gatsby, like, the parties, the dresses, the galas, it's fabulous. And then you're like, how do we get into a game about museums?
And that's kind of where we didn't crowbar it in.
No, absolutely not. But it was the main idea of the expansion, like how do we get some of this part? Because even though, let's just say, obviously, a lot of films play up this very... extravagant side of the Roaring Twenties, which certainly existed, but it wasn't like I'm going to go get a packet of cigarettes and it's like singing and dancing all the way to the stop.
It wasn't like that?
No, it really wasn't, apparently, despite what the theatre might have you believe. But we wanted to get some of that into the game. And that was the main concept of, well, how do we do that? Without wanting to copy anything we'd already done on Museum 1 or anything like that. And we are super happy with the outcome, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. We've our graphic designers did some amazing work on this. Really, really cool. So
all the black and white photograph artwork and everything just came out really nicely.
We're very happy with
very
that.
happy.
So we have our next expansion, which is coming next Tuesday. We are currently having the prototype printed. Hopefully it'll be with us in time for us to make the video for you guys. So we may not have the actual explanatory video ready for you by the day that it's released, but we will have it.
We have all the explanation, the graphics. You guys will know what you're getting.
Definitely.
And I'm pretty certain you guys are going to like it. The first time we played it, very much like with the assistant cards, we were like, okay, so let's try this idea. And then at the end of the game, we were just there like, it just works.
It does work.
Just works. There's nothing... Because normally you want to go, okay, well, we'll change this and blah, blah, blah. And apart from, honestly, some minor point changes, we're just there like, this just works. This is exactly what we wanted. And very happy.
Yes. Absolutely. So coming into some of the most sort of frequently asked questions that we've had on the Kickstarter so far, one of the most frequently asked questions we've had has been about sleeves.
Sleeves. Everybody likes sleeves.
Everybody
Obviously, sleeves. I like to think we do some pretty games. People want to protect their games, protect their investment, as it were. Starting from our last campaign before Pictura Deluxe, we started doing card sleeves, which we offered like the all-impact for, which we're doing on Pictura again. So to clarify, because this is a question, excuse me, that comes up a bit, the €23 pack does sleeve all of the cards in the game and then some. And not just the core game, I mean the game. Expansions, KS content, everything that will be included in this campaign, that pack will sleeve and then some. There will be plenty of spare sleeves in case there's any missing or any damaged or whatever. You guys will be fine, trust me. Quality wise, obviously I'm quite a big card player. I play a lot of Magic the Gathering. I don't know, because you're looking at him going, that filthy nerd. Yes, of course he plays Magic.
We don't hold it against you.
No, not too much anyway. And so I'm fairly used to card sleeves. Ultra Pro Dragon Shield are my two go-to brands, I suppose. And I wanted something that was along those lines. So when we got the samples recently, we posted some photos on a previous update. But I had them both in my hand and the same finish, same thickness, same resistance as far as I could tell. We even put a side-by-side shot photo with an Ultra Pro sleeve just to give you guys an idea of what it was going to look like. So we are very, very happy. These are premium 100 micron sleeves. They're the business. I'm very happy with them. I would put my Magic cards in them. Just saying. Obviously, they haven't gotten their okay back, so they wouldn't let me use them in a tournament, but now we're getting too detailed.
Approved. So, coming to the question of quality, we had a few questions about the quality of the cards.
Yes.
In Pictura.
So, the cards were something... I'm super happy with how the first museum came out. The one thing which I wish we could have had a little bit more quality on was the card thickness.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we still did 300 grams. The card stocked a lot. What really brought us low, I think, was the linen finish, which is a thinner finish than you will get on most games.
Yeah.
Unless, bearing in mind, when we say linen finish, this is like a stamped on linen effect.
Yeah.
It's not actually linen cards like you will get in some games, but they are very expensive. The linen finish is thinner than most varnish finishes, and that contributed a lot to the cards being... They were fine, honestly. Like, we still have packs of cards that we run with demos today for Essen and all our kind of events, and they're still fine.
Yeah, those cards have been through the ringer.
They really have. But apart from a few minor signs of wear and tear, and bearing in mind these are production games that have played hundreds of games of museums at different events by now. Yeah, easily hundreds of games of events. Yeah. They're fine.
Yeah.
But you don't get a second chance at first impression, so it's something we wanted to improve for this one. So we're going up to 350 grams white core.
Yeah.
So for those of you that might be like, white core, why not black core? Black core is specially designed for cards that get shuffled a lot. Cards in museum do not get shuffled a lot. They get shuffled once at the beginning of the game. So honestly, the quality upgrade there really isn't necessary. Instead, so we've gone for this 350 grams, so a thicker cardstock than usual, as well as a much thicker varnish finish, a nice satin effect, which will really make the colours pop.
Yes.
And really, there will be a substantial difference when you touch both the original museum cards and Pictura cards. You'll know that it's a different thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was something that we would have changed if we could have. And even though it wasn't catastrophic or anything, the cards do feel very supple, which is a little bit bothersome to some. Personally, it doesn't bother me, but
no. But once again, it's one of these things where once you've seen them at work, you're like, well, obviously this makes no difference.
No.
But under certain circumstances, some people reported their cards arriving a little bit bent because packages can get humid in transport, that kind of thing. I could go on forever about cardstock. I really could, because it's a big part of what we do.
Yeah.
Because obviously we print a lot of cards.
We do.
But rest assured, for this new one, anybody who's played or has a copy of Rallyman, the nice thicker card thickness, we're going much more higher quality feel to it this time round. So
absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah, so I think we've been around the bush just about with everything that we needed to talk about tonight. Obviously, if you guys have any questions, we'll always answer you in the comments of the Kickstarter page, in this video. And we had a couple of questions during the video, which we've gone over. The game is still in the hotness on BGG.
It is,
which is awesome.
Amazingly.
Thank you so much, everyone, for if you haven't done so already, please do go and give us a like on BGG. Like some of the awesome photos, because we had a fantastic photographer from a blog called I Love My Pixels take a load of gorgeous product photos of the prototype. Beautiful. They're absolutely fabulous. Do go onto BGG and take a look. Drop them a like. They are awesome. She is awesome, and it helps us to stay in the hotness. So it brings a lot of attention to the campaign in this time when visibility is hard to come by.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always a bit of a paradox, because to be perfectly honest, we have been in the hotness for a little on Board Game Geek for a little while now. Yeah. Despite the fact that we're trundling along slowly, nicely, financing, but just people seem interested in the game.
Yeah.
I think it's just the amount of competition we have at the moment is just really,
it's huge.
Huge. Once again, and obviously it's an understandable thing, we all only have a certain depth to our wallets. Yeah. And with 39 different projects on Kickstarter actually, and just having come out of some big campaigns as well, whether it's the Marvel, Marvel Champions, all that kind of thing. Obviously, people have might have blown their budget for this month. So. Once again, if you have been supporting us by going to the BGG page, liking us, sharing our posts, that kind of thing, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. It makes all the difference.
Yeah.
On that note, we are trundling along nicely with the social stretch goals.
We're almost there.
For the first stage, the second stage, we're not even halfway through the campaign and we've basically reached the first one.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we'll reach the second one. Any German players watching this? Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about the German version of Museum. We're trying to give you guys the same deal we did on the original Museum, where if we reach a certain number of backers, we'll make the German version. To be perfectly honest, German support has been a little bit sketchy at the moment.
Yeah.
We're about, if we count other German-speaking countries, we're between a quarter and a third of the way, which is still good.
Yeah.
We can do this for the German language because we do have good retail commitment from some of our partners. So once again, we've had some very generous offers from people saying, hey, I know, translation is a lot of work, it can be very expensive, and they are very correct. Yeah. Would you like me to do the translation, etc.? And we really appreciate that. But this kind of goes a little bit deeper than that.
Yes.
This goes into like production quantities and minimum order quantities. If we've put 300, it's because it's what we really need in order to do a print run, which does not cost a fortune. Because under... when you go under a certain amount of MOQ, order quantity, it starts to get very expensive.
It does.
And it jumps drastically. So we know that if we have 300 between the copies that we stock for our German retail and German distributors, and obviously you guys, we will have enough to do it. And in which case we will go full in on it once again. Yeah. Everything will be translated, expansions, Kickstarter content, the lot. Yeah. So you won't have to worry about that. Obviously, we do need people to... input now. Definitely. However, so I wish we could make more, we could budge more on this. I really do have to kind of be a little bit stern with you guys at this point, though. Honestly, and this is purely, I don't like doing it. This is purely a business decision. I don't have a choice in the matter. Yeah. I'm really sorry about it, sincerely.
However, if you are a German backer, do remember that you can ask your local store to make a pledge. You can ask, because we do offer discounts for stores who would like to make retail pledges. Talk to us, talk to your friends about it. There's a video on YouTube done by Spill Dinos who did a great job of reviewing the prototype. They really loved it. Share their video. Anything that you can do to help get more German backers interested brings us ever closer to having a German print run done. So.
Shall we say, we're not counting the pledge amount with German backers, we're only counting the amount of German backers. So a €1 pledge counts as another backer. Yeah. So, even if you're not sure if you want to get it now or during the pledge manager or even afterwards, contributing now means that it will be made and you can pick it up later.
You're casting your vote. So
exactly. That's it. It's a vote. Yeah. Cast your votes.
Absolutely. So
on that,
there we go.
I think we're done.
I think that's it. As always, let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah, we're always on the Kickstarter, so whatever you guys need to know, whatever it is, we do a small amount. I mean, it's been a slightly more peaceful week since we swapped to the whole daily unlock system, which seems to be, I believe it's making you guys pretty happy. We have not had any complaints so far. No. So let us know if you do agree with that or not. It's something I think we'd like to do in the future. It makes for a much more... shall we say, a much more laid-back campaign for both us and for you, because we know it's trundling along. Yeah. You guys know you're going to get a certain amount of content, and of course, we don't have to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to post updates, which is also quite nice.
Great. Absolutely great.
So anyway, guys, thank you once again for all your support for the campaign. We really appreciate it. You guys make these games happen. Any questions whatsoever, just let us know. We're here to help. And have a lovely evening. Stay safe with everything going on in the world at the moment. I know it's a tough situation for some, so please stay safe out there. Yep. Board games are a good thing to do in this situation, shall we say? And we will speak to you again soon. Probably next week we'll be back for another live.
Yes. See you next week, everyone.
Take care, guys.
More unlocks and a new expansion.
Laters.